When I was watching in Geo Plaza, now there's a 20 minutes ads, some 20-minute interval, 4 or 40 minutes sitting. In the end titles is just showing a montage of his training and not one guy is getting up. Just that tongue sequence in the tub. That one idea of holding the tongue suddenly built him up beyond my imagination. And I think the happy ending worked because of the extended time it took.
This one does.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Better I don't is the right word. This is how it should be done. Yeah. Better it looks like a comparison, 30% better, 50% better. No. And also if you look at those directors when they give interviews and all that, what do they say? I'm coming. They're going to fuck the box office. That is their level of depth.
Hi sir, so we are here to talk about Dhurandhar 2. You obviously have loved it.
I would say I want to marry it. I don't think I love it. Yeah.
What was your first reaction when you walked out of the theatre?
See, I mean, on a cumulative level, I don't know if I can describe it. I kept on reacting at multiple places in the film. So I would rather think that is a more truer kind of a reaction, I would say. But okay, if I have to sum up, I'll say that, you see, it is not, I say, a film has a story, then there's a way you tell a story, and there is something which the industry over so many decades had felt that this should be the structure of how to tell a story on film. Now, every one of those are broken, And when they're broken, you, especially as being a filmmaker, you get startled first. You get, what? Yeah. But at the same time, you're still, because over the years, I look at the craft more than maybe the effect of the film, like a normal audience would. I'm not very sure I can see a film like that. But it is keeping on grabbing me again into the story. And at a point of time, I'm thinking about the craft. And then there's, more than anything else, I feel, in a nutshell, if I have to say, what Hamza did in Pakistan to the terror networks, destroying all of them, Aditya Dhar has done to the industry. Aditya Dhar is a real Hamza, and the terror network is Indian film industry. That is what I feel,
Okay.
So, people will be confused.
Yeah.
Now imagine, I mean, I'm not getting into details, but after the climax is over, the film is going for 40 minutes. What the hell is that?
Yeah. Because hero killing the villain is what we consider climax.
After almost killing the main villain after a long extended fight, the very next scene he gets beaten up like a dog. Yeah. So there is not a single thing which is a pattern of exactly what we are used to seeing so many for so many decades. Yeah. So I think, and it's like, it is like a fireside tale. When you tell the main story, then there will be a lot of questions in the guys. What happened to that character? What did this guy do? And to round up the story, after telling the story is over, he took 40 minutes. And nobody minded. When I was watching in Geo Plaza, in IMAX screen, now there's a 20 minutes ads, some 20-minute interval, 4 or 40 minutes sitting. In the end titles is just showing a montage of his training and not one guy is getting up.
Exactly.
Not one guy I saw getting up after sitting for 4 or 40 minutes.
Same in my theatre. Yeah. Same in my theatre. 500-seater auditorium, house full, not a single person got up during the training montage, during the rolling credits.
Yeah.
That's insane, right?
Yeah.
That's a dream for any filmmaker. Correct. The story is over, but still people are invested in the story. And when you say that people are still watching it and the film goes on and on, even after the climax is done, he doesn't let you go even till the last second, which is he shows that one scene where that Omar is confronting his chief about how could you let Hamza go. Yeah. He didn't even leave that thread because he would obviously feel, right, okay, there was one sincere guy in LTF who was adamant about capturing Hamza, and what about him? And Aditya Dhar is answering that also. So it's like he wants to round off every little thing and doesn't want to leave any blanks. So that to me was astonishing.
See, tying the loose ends, it took 40 minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes.
Loose ends is the word.
Yeah,
is what we normally think.
Yeah. And when you say you were reacting to the film differently on during multiple sequences, what are some sequences that what do you call? Inspired you
to start with post the climax fight, him being beaten up and he's being saved by a random phone call coming from India, where there is no heroism.
I wanted to talk to you about that.
And what if that call didn't come or this? And then at a point of time, suddenly Rakesh Bedi becomes the main hero of the film.
Jamil.
That almost for me had this moment of in Oppenheimer when Truman talks to this guy Oppenheimer. No one cares a fuck about who made the bomb. They care about who dropped it, and I did. And he looks as big as the hero of the film in that one moment, Jamil. Yeah. So I think that then, and there's one thing when he's burning the photo of her and the son, because that chapter of his in life is over. I literally had a lump in my throat. So I am normally a very emotional, as cold-blooded guy. So for me to feel that, you see, Aditya basically has a, what shall I say, he's got an extraordinary sensitivity and respect towards the characters he's dealing with. No matter how small, they could be villains, they could be the bad guys or good guys. Everybody's got the same sensitivity and respect, which is so evident. In a point of Uzair Baloch where he wears the head and plays football, and that scene completely belongs to him, almost where Ranveer Singh is a bystander in the scene. And then after that, and then with such cold-bloodedness, he will take his name in the climax. He says, who do I blame this on? And I made him survive only for that.
For this day.
Yeah. And that is cold-bloodedness at another level. But it doesn't seem to make a difference because they're all caught in a certain situation where betrayals, loyalties and constant shifting stances has to be the order of that world.
It's normal.
It's normal, yeah.
In fact, when Omar tells SP that had doubt on Hamza right from the beginning, it's not a surprise to SP.
Correct.
Because they have been traveling together for more than a decade now. Yeah, if you have doubt, go and investigate. It's very matter of fact thing.
Correct.
The phone call that you mentioned, that the one that Madhavan, Ajay Sanyal makes, I love the staging of that scene. Like he's holding his grandchild in his arms, who's sleeping in his arms, and he's making a very simple phone call. It's actually a very heroic moment, but it is presented as a very regular thing, just another day in his job.
Correct.
There is no drama, no tension, nothing. And when you talk about power play and all, that conversation, it really stuck with me because when he makes that phone call, that ISI guy has the upper hand because he's the one
who has
capturing Hamza. So the conversation begins with Ajay Sanyal saying Salam Walaikum, and it ends with that guy saying Namaskar.
Yeah, correct.
So the power dynamics have shifted in one phone call, and it is communicated so superbly. And the other point is Uzair Baloch. Like he is this intimidating, wild, brutal guy at one point in the film, and he's a clown by the end of the film.
Yeah.
Like when Hamza takes his people in theatre were laughing.
Yeah.
Like Uzair, when he says
correct.
And he became a clown. So what he manages to do with these many characters and every character having an arc, to me that's a dream for any.
Correct. Yeah.
It's a textbook for any aspiring writer or.
See, like coming back to what I said, that this guy is done to the film industry, what Hamza has done to the terror network. If you look at it, I think all the filmmakers will be confused. They won't know what hit them or what stabbed them, I would say, because you're so used on a template. First scene, hero introduction comes at I have a full background score and just throw papers, coins, whatever, and there's no celebration.
Yeah.
There is no celebration of any character in the film. You know, if at all you think there's more celebration for all the other characters, including Atif Ahmed. In the way he's introduced
slow-mo.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
And then constantly breaking the structure. So the twists are so many, not inherently only because of the script has them. It also is breaking the pattern of how you are used to watch films. It's a double whammy.
Yeah.
Inherent twists in the story is different, and the director has made the change in the pattern. It's even more shocking.
Yeah. This is harder to explain.
Yeah, correct.
This is harder to explain and make sense of.
Tomorrow, if you want to, basically, because of the huge collections, you have no choice but to take it seriously.
Absolutely.
It is not like a highly appreciated film. It is not that. It is a blockbuster, biggest hit of all time.
Money talks.
Yeah, no. And now, if you want to have an intention also to do something like this, organically it came from Aditya. You try to imitate it, you can fall very badly on your face. It will be very difficult choice for anyone to take.
Yeah.
You need to have the intensity of this guy, his understanding of the subject matter. It is not like a script on paper where anybody can do it. There are so many subtexts in their expressions and X and Y. All that is not going to be easy for anyone to capture.
Yeah.
But now there will be two things. One is they will be scared whether that kind of a old school will work or not, you don't know. Because before Dhurandhar, there was no benchmark. Now there is a benchmark set. How action can be, how characters can be, how the depth of the character is not about hairdos and costumes. There has to be something internal which will reflect even in a silent close-up. This kind of a thing, who can do it? And now you don't know if you don't do that, will they work?
Yeah. It's too big to not take seriously.
It is impossible.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything against that, but okay, I might like this kind of film more. But I am very keen to know, after seeing Dhurandhar and Dhurandhar 2, of course, if a film comes like Pushpa 2 and someone flying in the air and biting people like Dracula, will they see a fight like that? I am very curious, actually. Now, that is one part. Now, forget the collections. Always we talk about collections of a big film. Which is the last film in the last 40 years, people discussing characters, people discussing moments, shots, scenes, some background score.
Bahubali 2 characters, but the visual grandeur shots and all
the difference for me, Bahubali is a spectacle. It's like a split in a period, kings and this, and that is a world which you are not a part of.
Right.
Yes, the character sentiments you connect to. This is not that. Dhurandhar is a today scene. Whether it's set in 2000, 2009, that is not the point. It is about people who can relate to on everyday life. Whether it's a mafia or a terror network, and we've seen all these incidents of Dhurandhar happened in our lifetime, in the last 10 whatever years, which is not the case of Bahubali. So I think the comparison is wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Firstly, did you expect it to have a happy ending? I mean, by happy ending, I mean Hamza returning back to India. Did you expect that?
I expected that only because I felt that would have been the victory. I mean, this is such a patriotic film in terms of these tremendous sacrifices and what all is gone through. For him to have a tragic ending, I think would be a kind of a letdown, which is the reason I expected.
Because we tend to, most of these films end on a sacrificing note only. So that was a surprise to me. So I'm very happy that he got a happy ending.
And I think the happy ending worked because of the extended time it took.
Yeah.
See, if it's a happy ending, right, just the moment he gets a call is left, and after that if he's left, it would have been very abrupt.
Yeah. Speaking of celebration, coming back to that, when he returns back, all Ajay Sanyal tells him is, Jaskirat, you did a good job. You did good. That's it. There isn't a single extra dialogue saying that you saved our country.
I almost was upset at that time. I wish he said something like fantastic or something. You did good.
He deserves it.
Yeah. Because I've seen what is done, what he's gone through and everything. And good.
nothing like we are all proud of you, the country is indebted to you, nothing. So it felt like, and nobody would have questioned him also, right? Nobody would have questioned Aditya that if a very highly decorated intelligence officer is coming and appreciating him. But Aditya, he never goes for those things. Like, he never even tries to glorify the hero.
Correct.
Because that's the most easiest thing to do. Because what we do in our films is we'll have 10 people.
If that scene what you mentioned, you would have gotten up and come and hugged him and kissed him and this, and you were a pride of India. That is what you would expect.
That's the normal thing. Correct. And it is actually deserving also.
Correct.
He's actually
and nobody would have a problem if you did that.
Nobody would have had a problem with it. People would have been happy actually seeing him.
I actually got angry with Ajay Srikar at the time.
And to me, when we talk about mass and all, the shot of Ajay Sanyal standing outside the plane and lighting a cigar, because lighting a cigar has always been this Indian hero thing, right? He is also doing that, but the context to it is so bloody different, because this is a context that was established in the opening scene of Dhurandhar, and by then I think we are 6 or 7 hours into storytelling. You are getting a payoff 7 hours after that. After 7 hours of storytelling, and that to me is the most massiest or most heroic thing about this film. So, what are some of your favorite moments if you had to point out?
I really think there are too many. Like I said, I can't get over the photo shot, burning the photo, and then that scene after the main villain climax is over. He held on to both Sarah and him. Both of them are not talking to each other. They're just waiting for each one to say something, and holding on to them for such a long time. I find, in fact, I was asking him and his editor, I just find it very difficult to believe on editing table to take a decision like that. How long can you hold? See, that will only happen in the process of an audience watching for the first time for 4 hours, connecting. But an editing table, So, and then of course, like whether it is him killing Binda. There is. And you see, because when you're developing the relation, and then when he sees his old friend coming from the airport, see, they're like real life things. All of us go through certain such moments. Where did this come from? And to milk the emotion is holding the shots for such a long time.
Holding
it. That is because Aditya Dhar is a very emotional person. It is him coming through. Because I spent time with him. So that is anybody will say, "Acha chalo, ye registro ya cut kar do." See, then fuck, just shock, cut. He came inside, and he's going on looking, he's going on walking, going on looking, and you get into his mindset. He's completely, you get into possessing his mind and what is going on in through. That I think is extremely. Rare. A director of having that kind of a depth.
I'm so happy that you mentioned how he holds shots. The final conversation with his wife, he asks her, "Should I tell you my real name?" Before he says his real name, there is a 10 to 12 second pause. We are already following the conversation. The emotion is already established. But then revealing his real name to his wife is a very big deal for this guy. It marks the end of his career for him. What he has spent for the last, say, 15-20 years. And in that, when he kills Pinda, he has to go inside, right? He has to go into the bathroom. Everyone runs. This guy waits for 10 to 15 seconds. He just stands there for a while and then goes, because he knows what's going to happen. He knows that he has to go and kill his brother-like figure. So he holds. That has to be insanely, insane sense of security as a storyteller.
See, the for me it's like, for example, when he throws something, now I can understand. If you see in the very initial stages, Major Iqbal, I felt it's being functional, and then you have to flip him to become the main guy. just that tongue sequence in the tub.
Yeah, so visceral.
That one idea of holding the tongue suddenly built him up beyond my imagination, beyond my thing, and suddenly he became the main guy with that one shot. Him just shooting or killing wouldn't have worked. Suddenly the brutality of Major Iqbal comes like a thing, and which will justify the entire sequence after that.
And the violence in this film was so, like, you could feel it. This is something that you mentioned in one of your posts, that the violence, like, you can really feel the danger in it.
See, it's also, if you look at the usage of kind of a pop songs in violence, it is like celebrating the violence. If you see, like, when this Aslam Chowdhury is going, and before his death, you hear a song, Tama Tama De De. You will never think of a song like that in a sequence like that. It's almost like, I'm saying, it is subconsciously is making you celebrate. It's very strange. It's almost like a psychedelic trance. It is actually, because what you're seeing is extremely violent, and what you're hearing is a pop song, thumping
like a
beat, a dance beat.
Happy. I
mean, the last time I saw something like that was in Oliver Stone's films, like Natural Born Killers, and where the music is kind of actually going opposite to what you're seeing, instead of supporting it. Correct.
And one of the reasons I think Dhurandhar works so well is it's very satisfying in a level where we as human beings, we derive a lot of pleasure in seeing evil getting punished, right? So in that sense, this gives that emotional outlet to every viewer, because every person who's getting harmed in this, every person whom the hero is taking revenge on, we see them as figures of evil. Like, and this guy is going them and killing them in the most brutal ways. Like the guy beside Iqbal, the one who burns the Sardar and his wife, he gets such a gory death. Usually you wouldn't think that a side character like that would be given such a brutal punishment, but his hand is pierced, and his eye is pierced with the same knife, and then he's thrown along with the table, his body is crushed. It's very satisfying, because it's all happening to bad guys. So did you have any of those moments where that gave you that adrenaline rush?
Maybe didn't do it physically, but I think in my mind is all the time jumping. So even the shot of in the beginning stage when he sets fire to that woman is trying to protect him, and when he burns them alive. Now that guy and these both are talking in a balcony, Major Iqbal and this guy, Aslam Chowdhury. So the whole thing, without, like you said, overstating it, it made it even more impactful. We'll always have a tendency to overstate those things. The contrast of the deadpan expression Major Iqbal and this guy, the brutality of somebody being burned alive, that juxtaposition is what you see. It's like, if you look at it, if you for 1 second take away the point of he's working for India, as a spy, and because of that you think he's the protagonist. Now the protagonist does as many sins as the villains. I don't see a difference. If you take the camera from their side, he looks as villainous in the context.
As any of them. What Aditya does to make even simple scenes more interesting is that he creates these micro moments of tension and suspense, like very small moments. Generally we say, right, people get, at least even I get frustrated when the story is not moving forward and people are just talking to each other. But Dhurandhar is one of those films where I was enjoying people talking to each other as much as people killing each other on screen.
See, the extreme subtle details, for example, something like the sellotape. Close-up of sellotape, it becomes a character in the context of it also is creating an emotion in the thing. Those things are, I think, very, very. I don't know how to describe it. Also, what is required in a director, and it's so complex. But to look at it, it's a very commercial template film. It's a hero coming for the good, is doing this, do that. And at the most, all the films we saw so far, and I'm sure many of the films are being made, they will have elevation shots and there won't be a mind neither to the villains nor to the hero.
Yeah.
So he's made the mind more violent, more dangerous than the actual physical action.
Yeah.
There were times when maybe you might feel the physical action a little going too long, but you don't find that in the scenes at all.
Absolutely.
In terms of the hold on to the emotions and the long pauses, you're just mesmerized because you can't have enough of it.
Yeah.
I remember when someone told me 4 hours film. When you're watching it, you don't want it to end.
Yeah.
You actually get disappointed when it's over. Yeah.
There are so many moments of tiny tension which makes even simple scenes very tense. Like for instance, that Rizwan guy, the spy in Arshad Pappu's gang, he comes to inform Uzair that Arshad Pappu is the one who baited Rahman Dakir. In that scene, Uzair is there and he calls him, and you really don't know what he's going to do when he takes the gun. He could either shoot him or he could hand over the gun. So there is a 10 seconds of tension there. Like, what's this guy going to do? Otherwise, it's a very simple scene, right? It's a very functional scene where a character is knowing an information, but he creates a moment of tension there also. I saw one post that people are not complaining about Dhurandhar or Dhurandhar's runtime because in a way OTT has made us all accustomed to the binging culture.
My view on this is, first of all, I do not believe there is any such thing as too long a film. Because if the film is boring, it will bore you in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It holds you, it will hold you forever. You know. So even at a time when Narcos came, people binge watched it for 2 days, both the seasons.
Yeah.
So the point is holding you or not. I don't think it's about you got accustomed. Even I remember when in college time, we never used to have a complaint with length because we go to see the film and the film is doing something definitely better than what's happening in the real life.
Yeah.
So we always be disappointed when the film is over because we have to come back to the, of course today there's a choice, all that is there. But the point is about the hold. I don't think it's about the length. Like what we discussed in the beginning of the interview, after 4 or 40 minutes, everybody is getting up, which means they want to just dwell and immerse themselves in this world what he created.
No, but did you feel that Dhurandhar had a bit of that episodic touch, especially?
See, for me, what happened, whenever he says a chapter is coming, I felt it has a reset, It's like, I got over one. It's like when you're reading a novel, the novel is a continuous story, but the moment a chapter ends and chapter 3 something comes, it gives my mind a reset, so I want to enjoy it again once freshly back into the story. It is a kind of a slight respite. Respite is not really interval. It is just about a 20 seconds gap or something. But in your mind, it takes you away and then pulls you in. I think that is what it is. That also it works very differently on episode by episode.
Yeah.
But in the same flow, same chapter, I think it works a very different way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think a factor that really defines the success of any film is if you are still thinking about the characters after the credits roll. Like if you think what their life is gonna be after the film is over, I think it's the truest form of success for storytelling, and I think Dhurandhar does it beautifully because this man Hamza or Jaskirat, he has gone through a lot, he has endured a lot. By the time the film ends, you're really curious to know what is next for this guy.
Yeah.
Like what his life is going to be like after being through so much. Like he spent decades and decades building an identity, and in a single day all of it is gone and he has to let go of that and move on. That to me, purely from a psychological point of view, that's a damn difficult situation to be in, right?
Yeah, I mean, see, that goes without saying. I think, So, see, if you look at it also in the treatment, you very rarely in the film hear what Hamza is thinking. All the others, you very clearly hear them. You don't hear actually what Hamza. Most of the time, it is inferred what you're supposed to think about it. When Sarah holds a gun, and when he comes in, and yes, he's an Indian agent, she came to know, She probably might shoot, but him coming, holding the put and putting it on his forehead, the confidence and his understanding of her as a human being, you know. So the important thing I want to say, Hamza never explains himself.
And he never defends.
And never defends, never explains his motives or whatever to anybody. Whether it's Ajit Sanyal or whoever. Yeah. So I think that is a ultimate thing for me, you know. It's partly in the design and extraordinary performance of Ranveer Singh. And the whole of the thing comes from even in the flashback when the film opens with him, you know. His close-up, he already pulled into the story. I don't remember feeling that ever. It is not like he's not being introduced like a happy-go-lucky guy, hey, aisa tha. Just already you're into the film, and they look like they stepped out of life. They don't really step out of the makeup man. How can you have that intensity and the beginning frame of a scene is something beyond. Yeah.
Since you mentioned the opening scene, one thing that really intrigued me was the day Dhurandhar released, I watched another film which portrayed sexual abuse in a very crude way, in a way that it was trying to milk our sentiment. In this, even though horrible things have happened to them, it doesn't really get into that, and there is one shot of the sister crying in that pump room, and her scream kind of gives you the same impact.
See, not going into the names, the difference I feel here, the genuineness of the emotion, the pain and the trauma seen in the sister and in his reaction to the whole thing. Those kind of directors, they will just inform and they will not feel what the pain of that is, and visually they try to make it horrific, and that's how exactly it will come out.
Yeah. So I felt this film focused more on the impact, not on the sensation. See, this has happened. See look at the cruelty that was inflicted on them. No, all of that has happened. You just feel the impact. You just feel the horror of.
Correct.
What do you think should be the takeaway from Dhurandhar?
See, to start with, I think it is a very, very loud wake-up call, where when you wake up because of an alarm you put, this alarm sound will shatter their eardrums to start with, you know. But the problem is, after waking up, they won't know what to do. So if you wake up and you're clear about what you want to do is different, but what is the point of waking up if you don't know what to do next? Because you are not able to get Aditya Dhar kind of a command or his sensibility or his sensitivity and anything. And I think it will disturb. And now suddenly the people have come to know this is the kind of cinema which can be made. What are you saying? It's a wake-up call even for the audience. So they'll feel, they've been making us fools or what?
All the while,
all this time, this is what you think the Indian audience want, and this is what we are making, is what the constant argument or constant explanation we've been hearing. And this suddenly took away the rug, and you're fallen down on your face. So, in comparison to Dhurandhar, the effect audience are feeling and giving it so much of love, people will be scared to come and stand next. It's after a beautiful woman comes and in a contest comes, and the second woman who's nowhere near, she'll be scared to come onto the stage. You know?
Yeah.
So I think all the films which are being made, in the process of being made, all these hundreds of crores of films, they're all planned on the same template of what has been working before Dhurandhar. You know, now if the audience are in the reset button of how they want to see hero, how they want to see drama, how they want to see realism and a storyline with so much of depth and nuance and whatever, now to see those fake films, how they'll feel. You know, there is an argument that all kinds of films work, but I think there's a difference here. See, it's not like a one-off Kashmiri Files or one-off something else coming or some love story like Sayara. this is the same template.
Yeah, what they have already been doing, but this one does
correct,
so much better.
Yeah. Better, I don't know, is the right word. This is how it should be done. Better, it looks like a comparison, 30% better, 50% better. No, I think that's an insult.
No, this redefines basically.
It redefines.
Redefines the template.
It redefines, reprojects, and actually, this is what you have to see, fuckers. You know, it is actually saying that. This is what cinema is. This is what is. You know. So that stark difference between that style of films and this, I believe it's going to be a long time. The existing filmmakers, whether they can adapt, whether they, and at the most they can hope something like that will come and again beat this, but I don't think it will happen.
But do you think people will try to imitate?
They will, see, but that is a problem with this film. See, the imitation, like I said, now it is very easy to say long pause, but long pause is coming from in the overall thing of what when he sees him at the airport, and the scene there and the whole journey of him being introduced, coming out of the airport and his expression, there are so many things together happening. I'll give an example. In Shiva, there is a scene when this guy, Chakri, looks at guy in the opening sequence and he just does it. Just gives a nod, say we are here, kind of a thing. It's silent communication, Now, one actor told me, after that, some other director, when he was saying, so he said that Shiva, he just nods, do that, he said. So that guy did that. Cut. Why are you not doing? No, sir, I did it. No, that's, you have to do little more. And then the second take, a little more, he said. No, that's not enough. And finally, he said. So, when you don't feel it, you won't be able to imitate.
Yeah.
You might have the idea. So, if you say, put a long pause, like Dhurandhar, but if the face does not carry the emotion, it will backfire.
Yeah.
The long pause, And also, if you look at those directors when they give interviews and all that, what do they say? I'm coming, you're going to fuck the box office. That is their level of depth. My hero is, my life is only for him, once his hand. These kind of slavery-oriented directors are going to, they're going to be exposed so badly. He is the first guy I've seen in, maybe Christopher Nolan does that. Christopher Nolan never talks about the box office. The Aditya never talked about the box office. He talks about the film. He talks about the subject and maybe sometimes a character or two. So that maturity and that kind of intelligence and that kind of a sensitivity and that kind of dignity in the person, how will you get it if you don't have it? So you can imitate the so-called elevation masala films because you get the best action director. You throw hundreds of crores into it and all the technicians, they'll do item songs, they'll do this, they'll do that. But to do Dhurandhar, you need brains, you need depth, you need sensitivity, you need a dignity. All these elements are going to come once in a blue moon. It is not like you'll have, but what it can do, it can inspire. Now this will become a benchmark. They inspire a lot of younger guys and people who are coming now or just starting off, Dhurandhar will become the new benchmark. The guys who are already in production, who we thought are the top directors charging 20 crores and all that, they are going to be in deep trouble. Yeah.
Exposed, basically.
Yeah, they get exposed. Yeah.
Because right after Dhurandhar, I was just thinking about some of the films that I have actually enjoyed. All of them feel very basic, actually.
Yeah.
You compared this to Mahabharata in our previous conversation.
Yeah.
I think with the inclusion of Dawood, that becomes much more interesting because this film is like it's like a myth building exercise. Like we have, nobody knows what actually Dawood is like today, right? All of us have an image of somebody like Dawood, this guy, this evil guy, this terrorist who has been doing all kinds of terror shit. We have an image of that, but then what the film does with him, I think that adds way more satisfaction. And it's like bringing a lore to life.
It reminds me of one thing. When they say it is a propaganda film, it's a right-wing thing, it is going to show so-and-so in a very good light and all that. See, first of all, what is a propaganda film? It's a point of view. It is a belief. All of us have propagandas in life. When I say something, I am trying to push my point across. You do the same. Everybody does the same. So our beliefs to achieve a target, if Aditya Dhar wants to make a point, it's about his belief or whatever reasons he has, Now, this is not the truth. Somebody says, who knows the truth? I have very different understanding of what Dawood is, for example. Do I know him? Did I ever meet him? No. Aditya Dhar has a different viewpoint. Could be from sources what he heard, could be from sources what I heard. They could be different and they could be different at different stages and time periods and all that. But at the end of the day, if you are going to argue with him about this is not how it happened, you're actually trying to manipulate it for a certain purpose. The only way you can debunk that is to make another film and show your reality. And then let it be a bigger hit than Dhurandhar. Then we'll see. Otherwise, it is just an opinion you are expressing.
Because there's been
see, the truth, even Dawood Ibrahim cannot tell. Because if Dawood Ibrahim says also, you might not believe it, na? Everyone has an agenda. Everybody wants to have a propaganda.
I think we can end the conversation on that. No. This. I know you have seen the whole film. You want to marry Dhurandhar. Name your top 3 characters from a writing point of view.
I definitely believe Hamza.
Number one.
Because for me, the point that is silent doesn't explain is something I never ever experienced. I don't remember a single. Whenever I see a film, I'll have a reference. Okay, this is something like that. This is something like this.
Okay.
So there is a Michael Corleone.
Okay.
There is a Shiva. There is some Rambo.
Bruce Lee.
There is something. I don't have a reference point for Hamza. Even if I see something like a Munich, Spielberg's, I don't feel the same about this is far superior in the same context, And second character is I like Uzair Baloch. But to be fair, I really don't know, man. Everybody actually.
I know, but that's why it's a difficult question. So, who's it? Third.
So, at a certain point of time, especially Dhurandhar 2, I felt Jamil's character is looking a little too loose. I didn't like the greens and the park and was sitting with the garden and all that. I thought the whole thing is going little against the rest of the template of the color palette of the film. Psychologically also.
Felt a bit farcical actually.
Correct. Then by the time we reach the end and he's in the car, I got a fucking punch in the stomach. And I believe that also is because of those scenes. Because psychologically I stopped taking him seriously after some time and then suddenly he becomes the main guy. I mean, if it worked or if that also Aditya thought is genius. I know I'm saying sometimes it can work. Just unexpectedly, which you did not intend, and so many characters. When I mentioned, if Major Iqbal's character, I thought it's okay, it's functional, he's coming and going and this and that, and then suddenly the tongue scene, he became my favorite character. So it is not like consistently 1, 2, 3. Lot of them individually became that.
I saw an appreciation post for that rebel from Baloch. The bald guy with beard. He's on screen for hardly 6 or 7 minutes. Just a few shots. But people are even standing his character. So that to me is like, it's the achievement of great writing, great casting, great acting. Everything has come together. But I believe it has to start with writing. So in that sense, Dhurandhar is I don't think it's just a blockbuster. I don't think it's just a blockbuster that will make thousands of crores.
I feel it is too limited to calling a blockbuster. I think is an insult. Dhurandhar should be celebrated by Indian cinema because it has woken us up into a new world of films. this is what it can be. Like, to quote Ayn Rand, it's not about what it is about what it could be and what it should be. That is what Dhurandhar has done. So I think the impact of it on what cinema can be is very different from just hearing collections. All the films which has done 500, 700, 800, you never really spoke about the characters, what it is and what it has done to its intention of elevating the Indian agencies and patriotism. The depth of it, what it created, I do not believe there is a single film anywhere near. So the fact and a director with such little experience has done hardly 1 or 2 films, he's managed to do that. I think it's a wake-up call for all the senior directors, and it will inspire so many, whether they'll be able to make it or not, the time will tell. No? So I think it should be celebrated by India.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just about the audience or the film industry. Okay, film industry will be super jealous, and their only hope is again one of those old templates coming and working. But even if it works, they'll have to remember it won't be discussed.
Yeah. Impact on the audience, and it will, that is what they think. It's like when I just said you were laughing, I will come and bloody hit the box office. This festival is ours. Just wait, it will start with 2000. Those kind of superficial guys, I think, are going to have a very tough time after Dhurandhar. You have quoted Ayn Rand also, so this conversation feels complete now.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, sir. Loved talking to you, because I absolutely loved this film, and I know that when you love a film, talking to you is a super happy exercise. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.